The race for artificial intelligence dominance is heating up, with China's latest generative AI model, DeepSeek, making waves in the global tech industry. The US and China have been locked in a fierce battle for technological supremacy, and DeepSeek's emergence has raised concerns about the balance of power in artificial intelligence. From stock market shocks to geopolitical tensions, this development is already sending ripples through global markets. So what makes DeepSeek a game changer? Well, to help us unpack this topic, I'm joined by Lindsey Schutters. He's the ICT editor at Bizcommunity. Thank you so much for joining us, Lindsey. So how would you describe the current state of the AI race between China and the United States? Who is leading and in what areas?
So a lot of people get the situation wrong with DeepSeek. Yes, DeepSeek has lowered the cost to access of these specialized models, and we might see more local AI solutions being built because you can run this, it's all open source, you can run it quite cheaply and on all the hardware. But DeepSeek is very much built on the foundation that has been laid by OpenAI, by Google, by Microsoft as well. So it distills from that information, and now we are able to have open source models that we can run on smaller hardware and for specific actions.
So, Lindsey, I'm very conscious that there's some viewers who may not be as technically advanced as you are, and certainly I would be one of those. So please just kind of temper as you respond. Why are generative AI instruments like ChatGPT and DeepSeek, why are they such an important focal point among the competition and ultimately for the consumer?
So where we are at the moment is like AI is being used for a lot of things in the background, like cancer research and optimizing chatbots in commercial settings, in retail settings specifically. But these companies need a lot of buy-in from the public so that they can entice investors, because it costs a lot of money to put up the data centers that can help train these models and process all of the prompts coming from consumers. So that's why you're seeing it a lot in the consumer space and moving away from the back end, like business space. So that's one of the things. So there's that fear, obviously, that AI is going to take our jobs, but it's not really. It's limited by what was created, and it cannot create anything new. It can't be the source code for anything new. So knowledge workers, engineers, those sorts of things, it can be a tool to just help getting through those daily grind tasks. And that's where we're seeing the biggest effect, is on those labor markets where it's driven by process and task driven. So AI can come in easily and just take away that daily kind of slog. So repetitive things like number crunching, especially going through old data as well and interrogating old data. AI is very good at that, because you can just teach a model everything about anything, and then you can use that to speed up your own function. So like, it's going to be very important going forward, but at the moment these companies need a lot of hype to just drive up the investment, because it's going to cost a lot of money. And then DeepSeek comes in and this model is made at a fraction of the cost, and it completely has now scared the market, saying that if China can do it for cheaper, like, why are the US tech makers still keeping their prices so high? Why do they need to invest 63 billion on Meta's side and 80 billion on Microsoft's side, as what they're talking about investing in building the next phase of AI?
Yeah, no, these are very crazy numbers that you're talking about, whereas the guys at DeepSeek, it sounds like they spent $6 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But going forward, though, was it just a knee-jerk reaction that the markets reacted so terribly when this DeepSeek system came out? Going forward, do you think that the more established US guys are going to be able to continue and still be profitable, despite the cost difference that we've seen between them and China?
Going forward, it's going to be very difficult for them, because now it's been shown that these things can be done for cheaper, and open source could actually be the way forward. So all the proprietary guys, like specifically OpenAI's ChatGPT, that runs on a proprietary, no one can see how that model works, because that's their IP. Whereas now in DeepSeek, you can see there's research papers that it was also built on that is open to the public, and you can see exactly how this model is coming to its definitions, how it is gathering its information, how it's organizing information. So that is open, and that allows like university researchers to now build more tailored models and like smaller things, and plugging that in. But the biggest change that we're getting now is towards the end of last year, there was a lot of investment in nuclear power just to power these AI data centers, because AI is very, very power hungry. The energy markets are tanking now, and this could have knock-on effects even in our economy, where South African government has just put nuclear back on the table for our future energy mix. And those prices are going to start going up now because there isn't that much investment going in. We'll have a slowdown in that. So it's more a retreat back to where we're supposed to be. So these companies like NVIDIA losing 15% or 17% of its stock price. It's just not going to be like 100% year-on-year gain. It's going to be an 80% year-on-year gain for them, which is still an insane win. So there's a little bit of spooky, but we're just going to retreat to where the markets should be. And I believe it's a big win for the rest of us, especially in South Africa, where we don't have the money to put up these data centers that are capable of this. And now we can run these models on cheaper hardware.
Yeah. So while the AI race is often seen as a competition between superpowers, it's important to consider its impact on smaller economies. How then do you expect South Africa to navigate these technologies, and what opportunities and challenges are there for a country like us? And of course, you already alluded to the fact that it's going to be good for us, the recent developments.
Yeah, if I was a university researcher working on something right now, I would be thanking my lucky stars, because now you're not beholden to Microsoft and Google. And I've had conversations with these companies, asking them how are they helping out our academics to create IP that we can own in this country and then export. And they always talk about credits and just renting out space and then maybe incubating these businesses. But now we can obtain these open source models and build our own stuff and build South African solutions for South African problems and then export that to the rest of the world. So it's a game changer, and I hate saying that word, for just democracy in technology.
All right, Lindsey, thank you so much for your time and insights there. That was Lindsey Schutters. He's the ICT editor at Bizcommunity.